Hey everyone, and welcome back to Stealthy vs. Healthy, the podcast where we uncover the stealthy problems teens face and explore healthy, science-backed ways to tackle them. Today, we're talking about something that's practically a rite of passage for most teenagers: caffeine addiction. Yep, that magical elixir that turns zombies into semi-functional humans. Whether it's coffee, energy drinks, or sodas, caffeine is everywhere. But here's the thing. While it might feel like your best friend during a late night study session or an early morning class, eventually you're left wondering, is it really worth it? So today, we're diving into the science of why caffeine hooks us, why there's a net negative from too much caffeine, and how to break free from caffeine addiction. So grab a drink, whether it's a triple shot espresso or a glass of water, and let's get to it. Most people aren't yet at the stage where they refer to coffee as their emotional support liquid. But let's face it, caffeine is everywhere. Coffee, energy drinks, sodas, even some snacks. But what's actually happening in your body when you drink a latte or crack open a Celsius? Let's break it down. Caffeine is a stimulant, and it works by blocking the effects of a neurotransmitter called adenosine. Adenosine is like your brain's natural sleep signal. It builds up in your brain throughout the day, and it slows down the activity of neurons gradually, making you feel more and more tired as time goes on. But when caffeine blocks adenosine, you feel more alert, focused, and energized. Sounds great, right? But here's the catch. Your body is smart. It doesn't like being tricked. So when you regularly consume caffeine, your brain starts to compensate by creating more adenosine receptors. This means you need more and more caffeine to block those receptors and get the same energizing effect. This is called tolerance, and it's crucial towards understanding dependence. And this is where it gets tricky. Caffeine also triggers the release of dopamine, the feel-good chemical. That's why you get a little boost of happiness or motivation after you drink your first sip of coffee. But over time, your brain starts to rely on caffeine for dopamine hits, making it even harder to quit. So the next time you're sipping your third cup of coffee, just remember, your brain is basically saying, thanks for the dopamine, but I'm going to need more next time. Fun fact, did you know caffeine is technically a pesticide? That's right, it's naturally produced by plants to ward off insects. It works by inhibiting phosphodiesterase activity and increasing intracellular levels of cyclic adenosine monophosphate, or AMP. So when you're sipping on a coffee, you're drinking bug repellent. You're welcome. Okay, so caffeine makes you feel awake and happy in the moment. But what are the downsides? First, let's talk about what caffeine is doing to your body. In the short term, too much caffeine can cause jitters, anxiety, increased heart rate, and even digestive issues. Not exactly fun, right? But the long-term effects are even more concerning. For starters, caffeine can seriously mess with your sleep. Even if you drink it early in the day, caffeine has a half-life of about 5 to 6 hours, which means it can stay in your system for much longer. This can disrupt your circadian rhythms, making it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. And for teens who already need 8 to 10 hours of quality sleep for proper brain development, this is a big deal. Chronic caffeine use can also lead to adrenal fatigue. Your adrenal glands, which produce stress hormones like cortisol, can get overworked from being constantly stimulated by caffeine. Over time, this can leave you feeling exhausted even when you're not technically sleep deprived. And let's not forget about your heart. High doses of caffeine can increase your blood pressure and put extra strain on your cardiovascular system. For example, Panera was recently sued because of their charged lemonade allegedly leading to cardiac arrhythmia for 2 people due to its high caffeine content of 390 milligrams of caffeine per drink. Cardiac arrhythmia is a problem with the rate of someone's heartbeat. According to WebMD, about 500 milligrams of caffeine can lead to symptoms discussed earlier, like cardiac arrhythmia. While this level of strain might not be an immediate issue for teens, it's definitely something to keep in mind for the future, seeing as an average cup of coffee has about 100 milligrams of caffeine, and a Celsius can have between 200 and 300 milligrams of caffeine. Caffeine addiction can also sneakily mess with your social life. For one, it can make you more irritable and anxious, especially if you've had too much. Over time, this can strain your relationship with friends, family, and even teachers. And let's not forget the social pressure to keep up with the caffeine craze. When everyone around you is chugging energy drinks or posting their fancy coffee orders on Instagram, it's easy to feel like you need caffeine to fit in or keep up. But relying on caffeine to power through your day can create a cycle where you're constantly chasing that next fix, which isn't exactly healthy. So the next time you think about a third coffee, I'm gonna mug you and take it away. Get it? Coffee? Mug? Never mind. Fun fact, did you know that decaf coffee isn't actually caffeine free? It still contains about 2 to 5% of the caffeine found in regular coffee. So if and only if you're trying to quit caffeine completely, decaf is not going to be your savior. Alright, so now that we know about some caffeine downsides, let's talk about how to break free from addiction. And no, I'm not saying you have to give up caffeine entirely. Instead, we're going to focus on realistic, science-backed strategies to reduce your dependence and find healthier ways to stay energized. Number 1. Gradual reduction. Going cold turkey might sound like the fastest way to quit something, but it's also the most painful. Caffeine withdrawal is no joke. Headaches, fatigue, irritability, and even brain fog are common symptoms. Instead, try gradual reduction. Start by cutting back by 1 caffeinated drink a day. Swap it out for something healthier, like water, herbal tea, or a smoothie with fruits and veggies. The key here is to give your brain time to adjust. As you gradually reduce your caffeine intake, your brain will start to down-regulate extra adenosine receptors, making it easier to function without a constant caffeine fix. Number 2, prioritize sleep. One of the biggest reasons people rely on caffeine so much is because they're not getting enough sleep. But here's the thing. Caffeine can't replace sleep. It just masks the symptoms of sleep deprivation. So if you want to break free from caffeine, start by prioritizing sleep. Aim for 8 to 10 hours of quality sleep each night. Create a relaxing bedtime routine. Maybe power down your screens an hour before bed, dim the lights, and try some light stretching or meditation. The better you sleep, the less you'll feel like you need caffeine to get through the day. Number 3. Find other energy boosters. If you're used to relying on caffeine for energy, it's probably time to explore some healthier alternatives. Here are a few of my favorite options. Complex carbs. Foods like whole grains, fruits, and nuts provide steady, sustained energy without the downsides. They're packed with nutrients that help your body function at its best. Exercise. Even a quick 10-minute walk can boost your energy levels by increasing blood flow and releasing endorphins. Plus, regular exercise can improve your sleep quality, which reduces your need for caffeine. Hydration. Sometimes fatigue is just a sign of dehydration. Keep a water bottle with you and sip throughout the day to stay energized. Bonus strategy. Stop procrastinating. If you're relying on caffeine to power through last-minute cram sessions or late-night assignments, it might be time to tackle the root of the problem. Check out my first episode for tips to stop procrastination so you don't have to drink that much caffeine. Now, before you go dumping your coffee into the nearest plant, let's be clear. Caffeine isn't all bad. In fact, in moderation, it is a legitimate productivity booster. It's when you're chugging energy drinks like they're water and your heart starts pumping like there's no tomorrow that it becomes a problem. You can drink coffee and energy drinks every once in a while if you need to lock in, but it's not ideal to do this super frequently. Small changes like swapping out 1 caffeinated drink for water or sleeping a little bit more can make a huge difference. And hey, if all else fails, just remember, bananas are nature's energy bars, and they don't come with a side of jitters. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with that one friend who's single-handedly keeping Celsius in business. And don't forget to follow so you don't miss our next episode. Until then, stay curious, stay energized, and I'll catch you next time.